All right. Welcome, Rachel, Cecil, for the Arizona Doug meetup. Happy to have you both here. And let's start with the today's topic. Before that, we'll start with introduction. So my name is Dinesh, and I'm a solution architect. Have been working with KPMG in this industry for 9+ years, and have been implementing consulting in the CRM space. Now I'm a Doug leader for the Arizona state, and that is my LinkedIn QR code. Those who would like to connect with me, they can. Um, Sorry, I think it just took a little bit of time to load my presentation. Yeah. Hey, go, Rachel. Why don't you just introduce yourself?
Okay, so hi everyone. I'm happy to be here. And my name is Rachel Irabor. I'm a Microsoft MVP for business application. I'm a Power Platform and a Dynamics 365 CRM developer. I'm also a regional lead for the Microsoft Global Community Initiative and the organizer for Power Platform User Group Nigeria, and also a co-lead for Power Platform User Group. No, I'm the organizer for Power Platform User Group, Power Platform and Dynamics 365 User Group Malta, and co-lead for Power Platform User Group Nigeria. Yeah, so many other things, but I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Those are definitely too many things for one person, Rachel. I don't know how you're managing it, but glad you're able to. Good for you.
Thank you.
All right. So about Doug meetup. So for those who don't know, about the Doug, I'm going to do quick overview some of the things we do offer. We are a free community of 47,000 plus members and still growing. We work with partners, ISVs, consultants, and customers, and as well as users. We are a free individual membership as well as many of our programs. Those are free, which we'll discuss. Probably in few slides. Rules for engagement. Our rules of engagement is that we essentially ask these meetups, which are held, to be solely educational purpose. So, I would request no sales pitches, please. We want to make sure that everybody can come and attend these events and learn some free education content, and they not try to sell the products, which I have just repeated. But we also ask that you ask questions, stay engaged with your speaker, and I know that they really appreciate when you ask questions. And I'm sure the speakers will tell you how they would prefer asking questions, whether to reach out by raising hand or by dropping your questions in the chat. Uh, all right. Okay. All right. So we do have an online discussion forums. There are different, different forums. Actually, if you see on your screen, we got a very robust YouTube channel which has hosted many of our Dynamics Con virtual educational sessions, webinars, as well as other things out there. The idea is to provide education on different Dynamics products for everybody to learn. Our team up program is a way for end users to learn more about solutions and products that are in Dynamics and Power Platform channels. And if you are a partner ISV, there's an annual membership. It does have a fee, but you get exposure to many of the different programs that we offer at Doug. So we recently concluded our Rocky Mountain meetup last week, and from tomorrow we are doing in-person Ohio regional meetup, followed by some planned meetups in month September and early next year. I would request all of you to visit the Dynamics user group website and events page, where you all can see all upcoming events coming in the future. Talking about our international meetups may not be relevant for American users partners, but we are doing the Copenhagen Denmark regional meetup. on September 4th. This is in person, so if some of you will be there, or if your friends are there, do recommend them to join this meetup. And all the details are definitely on our Dynamics User Group portal. All right. So I'm happy to share that we are meeting next year again in the month of May. And our next Dynamics Con is at Vegas. Isn't that great, guys? So a lot of learning with fun, right? Early birds, please get an opportunity to buy discounted tickets. As always, it's gonna be expensive if you're last minute guys to buy the tickets. All right. So from here, I would like to pass this session to Rachel so that she can present her topic, Plant Designer in Power Platform. I'm already loving this topic. I hope you all would also love that. So Rachel, over to you from here.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm just going to go ahead and share my slide. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's a little bit tricky, but give me a moment.
No problem. Take your time.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'm going to share once more.
I'm still seeing your portal. So
Yeah,
okay, there it is.
yeah, it's moving to the other side instead. Okay, so we are going to be talking about Plan Designer in Power Platform. And Plan Designer is absolutely amazing right now, and it's getting better each day. I've already introduced myself before. If you don't know who I am, my name is Rachel Irabor. I'm a Power Platform and a Dynamics 365 CRM developer, where I work with Power Apps, Power Pages, Copilot Studio, Power Automate, and Dynamics 365 CRM applications in my day to day. I'm also a co founder for Platform Explorers. I'm kind of everywhere in the community. That's hey, okay. So, Plan Designer has been absolutely amazing. It's been growing step by step. And it's something that's for somebody that's just starting out in Power Platform, like maybe a beginner in Power Platform, or somebody who has already started their journey in Power Platform and they really have no they have no idea of how to work with a business problem. Plan designer is definitely something you can work with, or maybe you have a business problem in your organization and you are thinking that, okay, hey, how can I apply or how can I use Power Platform here? We have the license, we have everything, but I don't know in what ways I can use Power Platform to solve this business problem. Plan Designer can help you do that. Okay, and the agenda for today, I'm going to be just giving you a little bit of overview of Plan Designer, analyzing needs in details, like talking about what Plan Designer can do for you. Okay, and we're also going to be working on a business problem. You're going to see how Plan Designer is going to understand our business problem, give us a requirement, create a process, create all the components for that business problem. And it's absolutely amazing. Okay. Then I'm going to just show you the demo of the step-by-step process. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask the questions in the chat. So are you all familiar with Power Platform? I know I'm familiar
I
with
am.
Power Platform.
I
Okay.
am definitely.
Awesome. Okay. So because in Microsoft Power Platform, we have 5 applications. We have the Power Apps, the Power Automate, the Power BI, the Power Pages, and the Copilot Studio. I always like counting it with my hands so I don't forget. So we have 5 applications. The Power Apps for building applications, Power Automate for automating processes or tasks. Then we have Power Pages for building external facing websites for your customers. Then we have the Copilot Studio, which was formerly known as Power Visual Agent, but Microsoft changed the name and made it a lot better. Okay, it's like it's called Agents, but it's more like a chatbot that has AI infused into it, and it's really amazing. And then we have Power BI, which is used for reporting and creating of dashboards. So In what case scenarios have you used Power Platform? Like what have you, no matter how small it is, in what case scenario have you used Power Platform?
So I've used Power Apps and Power Automate mostly. So Power Apps, of course, extending Dataverse capabilities using, I mean, integrating with SharePoint, Dataverse. The the users who don't like to use the web portal of the
Yeah.
CRM version, they can use the mobile app and get their work done. And Power Automate, of course, there are thousands of connectors available, so you can just automate your daily task, mundane task on Power Automate. So those are the things that I use day in day out.
Yes.
Um,
Okay. I'm just going to change something. Give me a moment. Okay. So tell me what slide you can see right now. Can you see
the
my first slide?
question one at the moment.
Okay. Perfect.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, so a little bit of overview about Microsoft Power Platform. So we have all those 5 applications in Microsoft Power Platform. And Microsoft Power Platform is like something that Microsoft has created that has helped to bridge the gap between a professional developer and a citizen developer. Like, especially when trying to get started in the tech industry, a lot of people have this perspective where they think that, hey, I need to know how to code in order to come into tech. Okay. But Microsoft Power Platform helps a lot with, hey, you don't have to, there are other careers in tech that you don't need to do coding, but with Microsoft Power Platform, tells you, hey, you don't have to know how to code in order to solve business problems, okay? And you don't need to pursue a career in Microsoft Power Platform in order to use the applications in Microsoft Power Platform. So Microsoft Power Platform, I think I've been saying amazing, amazing, but Microsoft Power Platform is amazing. Okay. So then what is Plan Designer? So Plan Designer, it's more like if you're familiar with ChatGPT, I think like almost everybody uses ChatGPT. If you're familiar with ChatGPT or with DeepSeek or with Microsoft Copilot, so it's like an interface where you get to interact with your like a chat interface where you get to interact with it. But for Plan Designer is quite different from all of that. Plan Designer helps you build your process. Like you give the Plan Designer that, hey, I have this business problem or I have this particular business requirement, and can you just work on this? Plan Designer creates the business requirements, divides it into user roles, divides it into user roles. It also helps you with creating the data, like when you're working with a business, when you're working with anything in Power Platform, you always have to think about the data. Data backs everything. Okay. So when you're working with data, you have to think about when you're working with a solution or a business requirement, you have your data where you have to create the tables, the columns, the data type of those columns. You have to think about the relationship between the tables, like what type of relationship is going to be here. Is it a one to many, a many to many, or a many to one relationship? Plan Designer is going to help you take care of all of that. And it's also going to help you suggest that, hey, these are the components that can help you build this solution. Not like I've done on the process that Plan Designer is here right now is that it does not help you like build everything from start to finish, but it helps you build it to a certain point where you can take over and complete the solution. I'm going to show you how that works. Okay. So what do you know about prompts? What do you know about prompts? Okay, so prompt is like, especially when it became very popular, when people were talking about AI, prompt, and there were courses on prompt engineering and all of that. So prompting is just more of like, it's not coding. You don't have to code. It's more of you asking, like maybe you're asking someone, hey, do you know how to do this? How can I do this? It's more of you just speaking to, like you speaking to someone. Okay. But in this instance, you're speaking to AI. Then for Plan Designer helps you to understand if you do not have a clue of what the business problem is. Like most times you might see a business problem and you really do not have a full picture of the business problem. Plan designer will help you understand it better. It will also help you identify the pain points, it will help you identify the roles in that for that business requirement, and it will help you map out the business process. And from what plan designer does is that it explains the business problem that you have given it, it explains it, it divides it into a user role. So for instance, now if you have an example of a leave request system, like an employee leave request system, we have the system where an employee leaves a request, like an employee leaves a request, and then a manager approves that request, right? And if like maybe a manager is not around, HR person can approve the request. So those are three separate roles in that particular business requirement. Those are three separate roles. Plan designer is going to define each of the role. It's going to define this role that, hey, this is the employee and this is what the employee, this is what they do. Okay, it's going to define what the employee does. It's going to go ahead and also do the same thing for the HR and go ahead to do the same thing for the manager. Then it will give you data verse table. So one thing to point out is that Plan Designer works right now. Plan Designer works only with Microsoft Data Verse Table, especially when you are creating it from the beginning process. But when you are in the data workspace, I'm going to show you how that looks. When you are in the data workspace for Plan Designer, you can bring data from other places. But when you are starting the process, you're definitely starting with your Microsoft Data Verse Table. Then it works with building Power Apps application, which is your modern driven app, and your Canvas app. The Canvas app, it helps you with creating a responsive application. Because there's one thing to know about creating a Canvas app application is that when you're thinking about creating you have this mindset that, hey, I want to create a Canvas app application that is responsive. You don't just create the app and think that, okay, I will then come later to make this app responsive. Each of the process you go with, you have to, if it's like for instance now, we have this particular design on our slide. We have to know the roots, the body, and everything that is going to follow before you start putting your controls or anything you want to add to that particular screen. So that is the way it works. And with Plan Designer, it helps you to build a responsive application. Then we have our Power Automate flows, we have our Power Pages website, and we have our Copilot Studio agent and Power BI. It even creates Power BI dashboard. Okay, so it's cool. So let's look at a prompt, a business problem. So I said we should look at something different instead of an employee leave request system. We have those prompts that is focused on a local government. Okay, a local government from any country, any place. But what they do is that they manage grants for small businesses, for non-profit organizations, or for community projects. And right now, what they use right now is that they use emails and paper forms, like paper, to process everything that they are doing right now. But this process is kind of tedious. Papers are something that can get missing. It's not something you can track so easily. Like something that right now we're in 2025, maybe a paper form that was done in 2014. It's going to be very difficult to get that paper or not, especially when the person that was working there before is no longer there and a new person is now working there. So the process is everything is kind of tedious. And now they want to change the process that they have now. They want to change everything that they have. They're like, okay, hey, we want to create an online portal for applicants, like for the small businesses, for the NGOs, or the community projects, that they should come to an online portal. They should be able to submit for their grant application, and they should be able to see the status of that application. And that is externally, okay? That is externally. Then internally, they want to be able to manage those grant application, like their internal employees should be able to manage their application. So at least this is good. this business, this example that we're using right now, they know what their problem is and they know what they want to do. Okay, there are most business problems that they know what their business problem is, but they don't know how to solve it. So let me take you to the demo. Okay.
And quick reminder, guys, if you have any questions, don't shy away to put that in the chat or raise your hand. And I just also want to say, Sandeep and Patrick, welcome to the session. I hope you're gonna enjoy this session.
Okay, perfect. Can you see my screen?
Yep, I can see.
Okay, great. So this is Power Apps, make.powerapps.com. This is where I'm currently in right now. And I have different tabs open. In case if it's not fast enough, I'll just take you through what I already have here. So this, if you are used to Power Apps interface, this interface has changed a lot, like over time. You just come here and you see that, okay, hey, something has changed. So before this particular interface, the interface we had was more of like this same interface, but it was for creating a Canvas app application where you get to create a data vast table and then it moves you to a Canvas app application. But now we have a plan designer right here. And you can see we have suggestions, we have prompts that we can use. You can also add a file. If you want to add a file, you can do that, but we are going to paste our prompts right here. So after doing that, I'm just going to click on this. I'm going to increase my screen. Okay. So this is what we have right here. I'm just going to click on this. Okay, so this is a business problem that I have given Plant Designer, and this is a workspace that Plant Designer works with. You can see it has given its grant application portal. And if you see on this workspace, if you click on this drop down, you can see that it has me, Rachel Irabor, and it has different agents it works with. It has the requirement agent, the process agent, the data agent, and the solution agent. So the requirement agent, this is what the requirement agent does. The requirement agent helps you to define the different users that will be using this solution. That is what the requirement agent does. Then we have the process agent. So the process agent like shows you that, hey, this is how, like when you're working on it, apart from even in Power Platform, when you're trying to build a solution, you have to think about different scenarios that is going to happen for that solution. Let's say in a use case where you're thinking that, okay, I'm like for a community event, I created a Microsoft form and I want people to sign up using that Microsoft form. And when they sign up, I want an email, like a notification to be sent to them to tell them that, hey, you have signed up for this event. Thank you. This is a link, that and that. Okay. So if we're thinking about a scenario in that case, a scenario will be that a link is shared either on social media or personally, and then they click on that link. This is a step-by-step process. They click on that link. When they click on the link, it takes them to a form. When they get to that form, they fill the form. And the next step that happens, they click on submit. And the last step is an email being sent to them. So these are different step-by-step process. And this is what the process agent shows you. Like for instance, now for this particular use case that we're working with internal process, like the internal process where the employee, they manage the grant application. Then we have the external process where the NGOs, the small businesses, community projects, they go to the website and then they submit an application. That is also a process. That's a process already. And also they also track their application, the status of their application. That is a process. So that is what the process agent does. And we have the data agent. What the data agent does is that it builds your data. It builds your tables, your data vast tables. It builds a workspace for you, a data workspace for you, where you can add more information if you want to. It creates your data verse table, creates the column with their different data type, add sample data to those columns so that you can see how it looks like. And it also creates relationships between different tables. So that is what your data agent does. Then we have the solution agents. So when working with Power Platform, we work with solutions. So for me, I define a solution as a folder, like a folder in your laptop, where you want to maybe concerning a certain project, you want to, so that it will not be disorganized, you can easily track them easily. You want to gather everything in that folder. It does not mean that, even though it does not mean that apart from you putting them in that folder, it's not already in your laptop, you just want to place them there. So that is what like a solution is. Okay, so that is what the solution agent does. The solution agent, everything that has been created on the Plan Designer, it brings everything together and adds them into a folder. That is what the solution agent does. So let's go ahead to see what happens quickly. Okay, so we can see this is our business problem that we have talked about. And now Plan Designer is the one talking now. So the plan serves as a blueprint for addressing the business problem described above, outlining the user's requirements, data model, and technology that will be used to get things done. And we talked about the requirement agent defining the different roles that will be using this solution. So we have the applicants. The applicants are the small businesses, the NGOs, and the community projects. So you can see a definition of those users. It said they will submit a new grant application online so that my request is received efficiently. You can see there are different things that they will be doing on the platform. Then we have the grant officer. The grant officer is the person who tracks, who views and filters the received grant application. And also they work on attaching documents if needed. They add notes or they request additional information from the applicants. Maybe they go through the application, and they're like, okay, there's something missing here, or there's something that was not well defined here. Can you submit more documents about it? That is what they do. Then we have the grant manager. So you can see, even with me not telling Plan Designer has been able to, with that business problem that I gave Plan Designer has been able to pick the people who would be using this requirement. You can see the grants manager, which is the local government staff overseeing the grants program. So apart from the grant officer, there's definitely somebody above them that's also working on this solution. And if you think that, hey, what Plan Designer has given me is not enough, you can click on this edit and add more information, or just talk to it that, hey, okay, this is not describe what you like to add or change. This is not how I needed it, or I want to add an extra user to this particular solution. And this is this is a short description of what this user does. Okay. Then we have, I'm just going to click on looks good. Okay, so after working with the requirement agents, we go to the next one, which is the process agent. Okay, so and the process agent, this is what the process agent does. The process agent gives us a breakdown, like I explained about the Microsoft form, where you give a attendee a Microsoft form, like a person in Microsoft form. They go to the Microsoft form, they fill their data, they submit it in notification. So it's just like a process. This is what it does. It just shows you how the process is. So let's check the first process, which is the grant application submission and tracking. So if I click on it, you can see what happens right here. The applicant starts a grant application. When they start it, they have to first of all enter their application details. They have to upload any required documents. They have access to editing, like a confirmation that, hey, are you done, or do you want to edit page? They have access to edit before submission. Then there is a condition in this process. You can see we have a condition where the user says no, okay? Where the user says no, and it continues with the process. Or we have a condition where the user says yes, and it shows a button ready to submit, they say yes. And then they move to submitting the grant application. After submitting it, they get like a confirmation that, hey, like a confirmation text on the, because it's a website, they get a confirmation text on like a box on their Power Pages website that, okay, your application has been successfully submitted. And then they also get a notification email. They get a notification email just telling them that, okay, this is just a confirmation email that everything has been done. We will keep you updated and stuff like that. And the platform with Power Pages, the applicant has access to sign into their account and access their own application. Like when you work with Power Pages websites, when you work with Power Pages, the different access you give to your users, like you have the self access, the contact access, and everything. So the access you give to your user, in this case, the user can only see their own application. They cannot see the application or data of anybody else. Then they have notifications to tell them what is happening, maybe a notification where they are asked to submit more documents, or a notification to tell them that, okay, from open it has gone to pending, from pending it has gone to rejected or approved. Okay. Then they also have a process where they can see all the, like a view where they can see all the applications they have done so far in their profile. Okay, so we also have the same thing for this too. This is for the internal process. So you can see we also have the same thing for the internal process. So it's quite amazing. And like I said, with Plan Designer, like even though you do not have a picture of how the process, the step-by-step process would look like, Plan Designer is going to help you define it and tell you that, okay, hey, with this requirement, this is business problem, this is how everything is going to look like. And that is how we got that. So we're going to move ahead. Looks good. Okay. So the next part is yeah, I've seen it, Dennis, yeah. Okay, so the next part we have to look at is the data vars table. So you can see it creates a data workspace for us. It automatically creates a data workspace for us. You can see the data vars tables that it has created. It's created an application status, data vars table, applicant, grant application, application notes, documents, created different data vars table for us. It has columns, everything else you can see here. And if you want to add an existing table, you can quickly add an existing table, or you can bring an external data right here, either from Excel, from SharePoint, wherever you want to bring it from. Okay, so we're just going to go back to where we were. Okay, so we're going to click on looks good. Just say our data model looks good. Then it's going to create, these are the technologies that Plan Designer has suggested. It's saying that, okay, you will need a Power Pages website, you will need a modern-driven app, okay? And in this case scenario, somebody who is familiar with Power Platform or Dynamics might think that, okay, for something like this, why don't we use Dynamics 365 customer service to manage this? I know I'm going out of track, but for a business that do not have the license, or they are thinking that, okay, we just want to use modern-driven app, you can go forward with your modern-driven app. Do we have the Power Automate Flow? We have the Power BI dashboard. We have 2 agents that is there, okay? So we can say it looks good and save the tables. You can see save the tables. So you can either it automatically creates a solution for you, or so you create a solution, you get to choose the publisher. Okay, you get to choose the publisher, or you can add the solution in an already existing solution if you want to, and everything will be saved. So now let's quickly go to a solution that everything has been created. So this is a solution that has everything created. This is the Plan Designer. Everything has been created. We have our data vars tables. We have our Power Pages website. And if you can see the Plan Designer here, if you can see the plan artifacts, we can see everything that has been created. We have to manually add them into the solution. Okay, we have to manually go to the Plan Designer, click on create, and to add to this solution. So for instance, for the model driven app, so this is how the model driven app looks like. It has a grant application where you have the view and you also have the form. So for something like this, you also need to still work on it. You also need to create a business process flow to go through the different process, because immediately a user goes to Power Pages and creates a data. That data automatically comes into Dataverse, and then you can see the data right here. So you can go through your business process flow and work on it. Then we have the Copilot Studio Agent. Okay, so this is a Copilot Studio Agent. Plan Designer creates it for you. It gives it a name. It gives it the instruction to use, and it also gives it suggested prompts. So in this instance, for Plan Designer, it's not using your traditional trigger phrase. It's using more of AI. So this is how it looks like. So you just have to ask questions right here, and it would respond to you. And we also have the knowledge base, where it adds your tables right here. So if you're working with, if you have heard of knowledge article, it's like a dataverse table in Dynamics that has information that you can go through, saved information. So that is what this guidelines table is doing here. It's something that they can see in the Power Pages website. They can then get more information about the business or the grant application. Okay. Then the next one we have right here. Sorry, I'm trying to move the screen. Give me a moment. Okay. So the next one we have right here is a Power Pages website. So Plan Designer is going to create a Power Pages website where you get to select the pages that you want in your website. So you can see Power Pages has created the website. Welcome to the applicant portal. You can see everything that Power Pages has created. So this is quite amazing. You just need to still do a lot of adjustments right here. Maybe if you do not like the UI, you can fix the UI. If there are some APIs or anything that you want to call right here, you can do that. And also the security aspect, which is very, very important, that a lot of people make mistake with. You can also fix the security aspect of the website. But everything is absolutely amazing. The Power Automate, you have to, when it takes you to the Power Automate page, you have to select the prompt you want to use to create the Power Automate flow. It also creates a dashboard for you. So everything is amazing. And thank you so much. Yeah, I think I have 1 minute more to spare. Thank you. Yeah.
No, I think it's really awesome. I definitely feel, because I do this stuff daily, and
Yeah.
it saves a lot of time. And some of this, I could have said that this is a boilerplate, but actually, for certain problems, this could be a complete solution. I
Yes.
mean, I don't know if my other, the panel members have same opinion, but this is just awesome. Like, if you know the process, the nitty-gritties, it can generate, almost 95% build-up application for you. But I have a follow-up question on something, and then I'll open the platform, for other folks to ask question. Can it also create, adjust the security roles and other stuff for the? Okay, it
Yeah, it
can. I
just
think I get that.
yeah, it just defines the roles, but it does not create it. So you have to just go on, create the roles, create the team, and stuff like that. Yeah. But
Okay, makes sense. So yeah, thank you so much, Rachel. I think the platform is open for our folks who have joined. If you have any questions, guys, please, this is your time to ask anything. Doesn't matter, which background are you from, ERP, CRM. I think this is awesome. This technology will definitely be used by across the platform. Maybe not today, but tomorrow for sure.
yeah, definitely.
Rachel, is that a separate license?
No, it comes with your license. So for me, I'm currently using the Microsoft 365 developer plan. So,
Mm.
and apart from that, it comes with your license. It does not have its own separate license. But the thing is that maybe some people might not see it on their screen, and it's because the settings, like maybe at admin center, their company has changed the settings that I don't want you to see this. Yeah, so stuff like that. But it does not require an extra license.
That also actually good. So basically, your general Power Apps license, Power App Maker license would
Covers it.
be sufficient.
Yes.
Great, great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think uh, that was a good session, I would say. I'm actually very eagerly waiting to do it by myself, right? So if you don't have any questions, guys, then what we can do is we can give the precious time back to you guys, and we'll plan to connect maybe in future next month or maybe in October, and we'll have something exciting as this for next few sessions.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you,
thank you so much,
Rachel.
guys. It was nice seeing to you all, and Rachel, awesome. I'll we love the session, from you, and keep this energy, keep it up, I would say. we 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 have to learn lot from you on the energy terms, definitely.
Thank you.
All right,
All
have a
right.
good day, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
I'm just going to stop recording now. Just
So, yeah.